Hello and welcome to the AD2L Season 19 Week 4 Contender. We are in the Contender division. It is New Era versus eLusiV. And we already are well into the first phase of bans, with New Era banning out Phantom Assassin and Invoker. Meanwhile, eLusiV banned out Witch Doctor, Sand King, and Legion Commander. Storm Spirit was the final ban for New Era. A lot of mid heroes banned out and a couple supports. Shadow Shaman picked up right away by eLusiV. It didn't seem like they didn't have to really think about that too much. They were probably planning on getting it as soon as, just from the get-go. Sorry, I just wanted to double check and make sure I didn't have my mic still muted. I've done that before, but all is good on that front. And now New Era waiting on their first pick. They have two picks to kind of rebuttal. Looking at these bans, the two that stand out the most to me is things that I see pretty constantly banned out here in the AD2L, especially in Contender, are Witch Doctor, Sand King. Those two are very, very commonly banned in the AD2L. Witch Doctor, like the high damage supports are very, very strong down here. Greedy supports, because teams, generally speaking, and of course I mean no offense, games go a little bit longer because teams seem to have a little bit of a harder time closing out matches. And supports that have a lot of damage without gold also do pretty well here. New Era with their first pick grabbing Lich, and both teams are likely to pick their supports in the first phase. I rarely see core pickups in phase 1 in the AD2L, unless it's something like, I can't even think of an example. Occasionally you'll see a Medusa in phase 1 and then they ban out, if it's like eLusiV, if they pick Medusa, they then ban out the Anti-Mage. And New Era grabbing Earthshaker. Two pretty reliable and consistent supports, and eLusiV immediately picking up Omni Knight. They know exactly what they're here for. Fortunately for New Era, that is likely an off-lane Omni Knight, and while he will be very difficult to kill, they do have the Lich to help make his lane a little rougher. They can steal some of that XP and keep things under control. Ginger Ranger, Wind Ranger, sorry, I don't know where that came from. Banned out by New Era, a hero I don't really see banned that often. I don't think I remember the last time I've seen her, but there's the Medusa ban from New Era. Gyrocopter banned out by eLusiV, a hero that I see all the time down here in the AD2L, and I believe he's just kind of generally reasonably popular right now, just a decent-ish hero. Give me one sec. Give me just a moment. I have to tab out real quick to deal with an annoying notification. Lycan, the final ban of the second phase from eLusiV. Meanwhile, New Era, now with this first pick in this second phase, I wonder what they're going to go for. This is usually when we see the cores come out. eLusiV already have their core Omni, and I really like teams picking at least one core, maybe not second, but fairly early. So one of your support options could be used as a counter pick. Some of the most powerful counters in the game are support heroes. Alright, I'm back. Doombringer picked up by New Era, a very annoying hero to lane against. And man, eLusiV, they know exactly what they want, grabbing the Tiny. That's another one of those heroes that I occasionally see just picked up in the first phase. He's very, very strong right now, and very, very popular, highly valued by some of these teams. I love that pick. It's basically you farm like a Sven, and you gank and push like a Clinks, except with a stun. An AoE stun, for that matter. So Tiny is pretty frightening, especially when you have an Omni Knight to enable him with Repel, Purification, Guardian Angel. I doubt we'll see a Wisp. We might, but Tiny's been picked up a lot without the Wisp lately, thanks to his rework and some of his buffs. New Era, that's very probably a offlane Doombringer, and they're going to grab Dragon Knight as their mid. I like what New Era is doing with very safe heroes, and they did grab the Wisp. Interesting. So it's going to be Tiny in the mid lane, and I wonder what they're going to run in the safe. I think it's likely you run the Tiny in the mid lane in this case. Maybe not, but I would prefer to see Tiny. I think Tiny IO mid destroys Dragon Knight. New Era could plant the Lich mid with the Dragon Knight to make him really, really hard to kill, and keep lane equilibrium in his favor. They could also block the wave with a Fissure at level 1 and try to keep things going that way. But you need to be careful not to get the wave pushed into your tower right away. And New Era banning out the Queen of Pain, not expecting a mid-tiny IO, something we may see. At the moment, just from raw strength, I think eLusiV's draft is better, but in ease of play and clarity of what they want to do, I think New Era's is more straightforward. You have strong team fight, you have good pushing potential, good pickoffs. It's just a very well-rounded and pretty simple, straightforward draft, and I really respect that kind of draft. It doesn't look like they're trying to do anything flashy like eLusiV, who picked up a few of those flashy heroes, and it is going to be a mid. Tiny, Io, Luna going to the safe lane. New Era, a rapid Tinker pickup, so this means it's a safe lane Dragon Knight. Something I'm not sold on, but we'll see. That Dragon Knight set makes him look like a different hero. Unrelated. Glance value. Looking at these drafts, New Era's Tinker pick is pretty dirty. There's not a ton of tools to deal with that from eLusiV. We'll see how Raisin Nat plays on that Tinker. The Tinker is going to be really, it could be really scary, I think. Although I'm not sure. The lane will be difficult for him. And I think picking that Tinker and putting it mid against Tiny Io is a lot better than putting Dragon Knight in that situation. Dragon Knight in the safe lane will be against an Omni Knight, which sucks because Omni is a monster to lane against, but it's not going to be impossible for him. Not like Io Tiny mid where you just really, his best bet is to just not die. Alright, now taking a look at these teams, I'll start with New Era, with Leader leading the charge on the Dragon Knight. The first out of his base, Sad Man on Lich, raising that, playing the Tinker. Dr. Honeysalt playing Earthshaker, and on the Doom is Skipper. Meanwhile, on eLusiV, we have 7, call me 7, nice, on Luna. Playing Io is Starboy. Defy on the Tiny. Omni Knight is played by, ooh. Ooh, that's another. Omni Knight is Omni Knight. I said the other leader's name first, so he is relegated to Omni Knight, and this is leader versus leader in the bot lane. Anyways, on the Shadow Shaman is TCJ. The lanes for both sides are actually very comfortable. However, again, in the mid, Tiny Io, as Io has to play at least like reasonably well, and I don't mean to sound like I'm just, flaming them. I don't see very many Ios at lower MMRs play extremely well. So we'll see how Starboy does that. He could be the star of the show. Sorry, forgive me. And now Defy 7 even. Oh, nice. What a meme. Getting a decent block here, but the Lich probably getting ready to... Oh, he started Frostblast. Interesting. I think I'd much rather have seen the sacrifice. It would have forced lane equilibrium into their favor. Looking at these lane matchups, it is Earthshaker and Dragon Knight versus Omni Knight. You kind of have to do it this way. Even though it'd be awesome to have the Lich down here, you can't really leave Tinker in a 2v1 against Tiny and Io, especially once Tiny gets level 2 and Wisp gets his spirits. Doom, meanwhile, probably not too worried. Like, once he gets Infernal Blade and Scorched Earth, he's going to be a real pain. But he needs to be careful. The right clicks on the Shadow Shaman with that Luna aura are disgusting. 88 damage at 1 minute into the game, and Doom has 1 armor, so he's pretty much taking the full thing. However, at the bot lane, this Omni is going to have a dream of a time against 2 melee heroes. It'll be so hard to bring him down, even with those stuns. I don't know that they have the damage unless they have the Lich down here. Also, with the wave pushing in like this, it's going to give him plenty of XP, which will give him a lead. And with enough levels in Degen Aura and Purification, he could find himself getting a kill. Speaking of, it looks like I took a T-Tor, and Skipper finds first blood on the Shadow Shaman using the Hellbear Smasher Clap and an Infernal Blade to finish him off. Actually, it was just the clap. It is a pretty hefty damage. 150 damage at level 1 is pretty gnarly, especially when you have 600 HP. And now this is what makes Doom a real pain to lane against. The Infernal Blade does a lot of damage, but now Skipper under tower. Needs to be careful not to tank it, but 7, speaking of tanking, takes some damage. And man, it looks like I missed yet another kill in the mid. Tiny and Io find that while Lich goes and grabs a bounty rune. They really need this Lich level 2 so that he can start keeping lane equilibrium in favor of the Tinker. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Looks like I'm having some pretty nasty lag. Alright, forgive me about that. I was just checking to see my stream stats, wondered what that stutter was, and try to pay closer attention to the minimap. Speaking of, looks like they are moving the Lich down to the bot lane, forsaking the Tinker in mid. I think that's okay. Tinker's a hero that can catch up pretty quickly, and with levels, he'll be pretty safe. Looking at the CS, though, things are definitely favoring eLusiV. Tinker gonna struggle in this. I mean, 2v1 IO Tiny is incredibly hard for so many heroes to lane against. Maybe pre-nerf OD could do it back when you needed 2 heroes to lane against OD, but of course, no OD in this game, and even these days, I don't know that he could take care of it. Doom looking to devour something, but oh, ooh, Skipper. Everyone saw that. I'm sorry. Did get his Devour off, has a few tangos, popped a Scorcher for that regen, and now with the Lich down here, probably should start eating these ranged creeps, give some XP to that Dragon Knight. Once he gets level 6, even if they can't kill the Omni Knight, it's going to be hard for Omni to kill him too. And with level 6, they can pressure the tower. Now, 1 stun coming out, he has 2 points in the Purification. Leader dodging that. Okay, I'm just going to call him DK and Omni to be fair. Mid CS, Tinker starting to catch up, actually a little bit ahead of this Tiny now, and of course we'll start getting ahead level-wise, and we'll be able to farm waves with his March of the Machines. Looks like they're still trying to mess with this Omni, but that Degen Aura really prevents Dragon Knight from hard committing. Sideman needs to be really careful. Omni could just destroy him. A double damage rune up at the top lane could spell disaster for somebody. Looks like Io looking for his bottle. I'm almost surprised he bought any items at level 1 to begin with. I see so many that just don't buy anything. They just go right for that bottle. Now Earthshaker is here, throws at the fissure, but doesn't hit him with it. Now needs to be careful. eLusiV, Omni just beating on him. Now I don't know that they can dive this all. Dragon Knight, pretty tanky, should be able to eat a few tower shots and really not care thanks to that. Oh, and in the mid, it looks like 1 kill and a trade, but the March on the Machines, not going to be enough. The tower does finish off Starboy with the help of the March, but Defy survives. Tinker getting a kill there. I believe this mid is a hot spot, and I keep looking away. Skipper, very, very low, gets caught in the shackle, and with so much right click, but TCJ tanking that tower, the net, but not going to do anything. Perhaps if he had the Satyr Hadouken, he might have found a kill, but TCJ tanking that tower and finding a nice kill. Although CS-wise, it is very, very even across the board, except Doom a little bit underfarmed, but Devour will mitigate some of his lacking farm a little bit. And Tinker with his Soul Ring should just get some harass. Some pings coming out. Maybe Defy wants to go for something. The toss, throwing him back into the Wisp. And now he's all by himself. They already used the Avalanche, but the Spirits are doing some damage now. TP rotation's coming in to try to save him. The Earthshaker gets a nice fissure, trapping Starboy, and he's going to go down to creeps inside the March. A bit of a miscalculation. Surprising that Dragon Knight TP's down here, leaving Lich alone. And he could be in trouble. Omni, definitely a force to be reckoned with, especially for a level 3 Lich. And with 3 points in Purification, that's 230 damage nuke. It's over 50% of his HP if he's not careful. Tiny snagging a regen rune, finds Tinker, tosses him. Maybe has the damage, but Tinker very, very fast. Wisp not here either, so no slow, no follow-up control or damage. Dragon Knight now rotating up top is spotted out with the Eclipse coming out. Now a DK getting nuked down by that Eclipse and will be shut off by 7. Moving this DK around is a very risky move unless he can find a lot of kills. His farm is pretty good, or at least okay, but now he's going to start falling behind as he did just die. And oh, it looks like they're going on to Doom. Doom going to go down a killing spree for this Luna. And now they're going after the Earthshaker. He's low and going to get killed off. A double kill for 7. Lucent Beam finding that last bit of damage they need onto the Earthshaker. A fantastic start for eLusiV, getting their Luna just bigger and bigger, and this hero is a late game beast, so getting her a good early start is very, very scary. And she's just going right onto this Doom. The Glaive's just poking him down. Skipper in serious trouble, and in the mid, they find a kill onto Tinker yet again. Omni Knight with a rotation to help out on that one. Looks like they might want to try to dive this. Earthshaker in serious trouble. There is a Lucent Beam available in just a second. A nice fissure stunning up 3, but Lucent Beam finishes him off. And now Skipper stuck behind on the other side of the fissure. The Earthshaker's final gift to him, and a TP rotation from the Dragon Knight. The Lich as well has no ult, but now looks like they're going after Skipper and cutting the wave. The Dragon Breath dealing some damage to this Wisp, but they need to be careful. Shadow Shaman has 3 points in the Ether Shock and his Shackles available to get a stun onto Luna. The Shackles onto the Dragon Knight. Now Skipper throwing out a net, canceling it. March of the Machines. The Laser finishes off Wisp, and now the Ether Shock finishing off the Doom with 7 on the run. The missiles doing some damage, but they decide to focus all their efforts onto TCJ. TCJ trapped in the trees. Creeps giving vision, and a double kill for Raisin. But the Luna gets away. So not a complete disaster for them. That fight recap, though. A lot of heroes had to rotate for that. In fact, it was 5 going up top to try to get that fight on just 3 heroes between their tier 1 and their tier 2. Dragon Knight with another stun. Fissure available, locking her in. She doesn't have a clip. She doesn't have mana for Lucent Beam either. But 7 very fast pops his wand, charges, and gets up to a very healthy status. Spotted a DD rune on this Tiny. There is an Avalanche available. They catch the Wisp, the Lucent Beam, and a couple right clicks should finish him off. But Sadman on the run. Nice body blocks and a nice root coming out, slowing him up. The Ether Shot coming out. Shackles, but the toss does finish him in the end. But Luna getting very, very low. They're trying to get her, but the Lucent Beam slowing her up. Will they get that last right click they need? And he will die, but the toss... Oh, Dragon's Breath not going to connect. 7 still alive for the time being. And now a good Fissure canceling that, stunning them up, keeping them under control. And Dr. Honey sacrificing himself to save Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight will die, though. It's a double kill for Defy. And Dragon Knight immediately TPing to bot, trying to farm, but could have actually TP'd to his death. Omni chasing him down under tower, has a Purification Nuke and 2 points into the degen aura, slowing him up, repels himself, prevents any kind of retaliation. GK pops his ult, going after Omni. Omni with another Purification available might try to find that nuke, but would be very risky getting in range of that. Has no mana. He pops his wand charge. Doesn't have anything yet. The Purification nuke is there, but Earthshaker very healthy. Guardian Angel pops. He's ticking down from the damage over time. Meanwhile, up at the top lane, a fight breaks out. Eclipse comes down, finishing off Skipper, and now they're going after this Omni. They want to get him, but Omni maybe trying to turn the tables. In 5 seconds, he has another Purification nuke. Dragon Tail, if he can just get in range, might be able to kill Omni Knight, but Omni Knight's still alive. Lich, on the other hand, going to die up at the top, but they might finally get this Omni. Purification actually kills off the Earthshaker, though. New Era struggling to get a grasp on this game, and eLusiV starting to run away with it. And Omni Knight with the Purification heals himself, but this DK very healthy, very tanky. Pops the stick, charges the Dragon Breath, not going to be used. He wants to use the Dragon Tail instead. Gets him lower. The Purification nuke coming out, keeping Omni alive, but he's out of mana. Who will actually win this? A relocate coming in. He doesn't have Guardian Angel, but the Wisp here now to heal him up. They actually can't get him. He's still alive. Will they die? The Purification nuke kills off Dragon Knight, and Omni Knight, with the help of Starboy, keeps that fight going forever and ever and comes out on top. Across the map, eLusiV giving New Era the runaround. Taking a look at the overall net worth of these heroes, we see a 5k gold be developing for eLusiV, and a lot of that gold concentrated on the Luna, and the only core of New Era who's been capable of keeping up so far is the Tinker. But will he be able to do enough, create all that space? He has his Boots of Travels, but until he gets his Blink, split pushing is very risky for him. Tiny going for a Shadow Blade, so there's no like Blink Hexes, there's no Blink Stuns yet. So the Tinker may be able to create some space around the map by split pushing with the March, pressuring these towers, getting some objectives. They get the slow onto the Tiny. There is cooldown on the Lich ult, and Lich needs to be careful backing off Sadman. TCJ TPing in. And now the DK ult is up. I think what New Era might want to do is just avoid fights where they can. Their cores are all very, very far behind net worth-wise, and just pressure towers with like the Dragon Knight ult. And if you see them rotate somewhere else, you have the Tinker just shoved. I think that's the best bet that they have. Now they need to be careful. DK on the retreat. Dr. Honey Salt. I really like that name, by the way. Caster bias. Omni Knight is here. Has Purification, has Repel. They're trying to chain stun him, and they do a good job for a while. Tinker has arrived. March of the Machines coming in. Chain Frost bouncing between the two heroes. Starboy just barely going to go down thanks to those bounces, and now the Omni Knight in trouble. The Chain Frost bounces. They really hate him. He goes down too. Very fortunate bounces from this Lich. Sadman, a very happy situation for New Era to be in, getting themselves 2 excellent kills and a 1.2k gold swing going in their favor. Tinker with that Boots of Travel, able to rotate when his team really needs him and split push when he wants to find that farm. But they need to be mindful of this Luna. She's very, very big. Level 11 now. Dragonlance nearly completed. And 6.6k net worth. She's about 600 gold ahead of the Tinker. A relocate gank coming in. Skipper needs to be careful, but it's just the Wisp without any follow-up. And now he's taking a Tower of the Doom onto the Luna. This could be really bad. She's netted. She's melting under this tower. eLusiV overestimating their capabilities. Or perhaps underestimating New Era, who, again, I mentioned it in the draft, they have a very simple draft. All of the stuff that they can do doesn't require this particularly high level of play and just a raw mechanical sense. Decision-making wise, it's just as difficult as any other draft, but you have a bunch of point-and-click stuns. The Wisp, on the other hand, requires, who's actually maxing Overcharge versus Spirits. Maybe because you have the Tiny, that's fine. Speaking of Tiny, I should check what he's maxing. No points in the tree grab just yet, so he's relegating himself to the nuker role. I would like at least the 1 value point for fast farming, and now it looks like a fight might break out here at bot. Skipper TPing in, has the net, phase boots forward. If they find Starboy, they actually very likely have the damage to kill him, but they're pinging out the Omni Knight, who has a repel and an ult, so I don't know that you actually want to go in on him. He repels himself, and there's really nothing you can do here. Dragon form popped. They want to go on this Lit Wisp instead, but now they're going after the Omni Knight. The Overcharge, the Purification nukes coming in. They're doing a lot of damage, but there's so much healing from this Wisp. Now Tinker coming, trying to ensure that they can get this, but they're turning their attention to Starboy now, realizing it's the Wisp that's the problem. That Purification healing him and Omni Knight, but he might tick down to this Dragon Knight damage. The Bottle Charge is keeping him alive. Rockets coming out. 2. They're going to hit onto Starboy. The Guardian Angel won't save him from those rockets. And neither will his Infused Raindrops. Luna going to split push, though. Excellent play from Raisin with his Blink Dagger now. And again, the Tinker is the most important hero for New Era. They need him to make all of this space. And the beautiful part about a Tinker, it's why Spectre is pretty good in some situations. Oh, Luna has the Eclipse and just destroys the Lich. But Tinker blinks forward. Needs to be careful about that Shadow Shaman who's arrived. The Lucent Beam stunning him. Wisp relocating his Blink Dagger on cooldown. He's trying to speed up TCJ, but chasing Tinker into the trees could be incredibly dangerous, and they're not going to do it. Fighting in the trees in a march that you can't avoid would be an absolute death sentence. And TCJ planting that Tinker ward wants to ensure that they can hit him when they need to. And now a bunch of TPs coming in. A beautiful 2-man avalanche. Skipper very low, going to go down. And now DK going to get ether shocked. 2 kills at the bot lane for eLusiV. Luna with her Dragon Lance and with a nice ward, but they should know that that ward's there now. But Luna has really, really long night vision as well. And Shaman ward's committed at the bot lane. eLusiV now with the tree grab on Tiny can really chunk away at these towers, and yeah, this is a forfeit tower. But Tinker Raisin continues his farm. He's the 2nd on the net worth and pretty close to that Luna, and we've seen him come extremely close to overtaking her from time to time, but there's still 4k gold behind eLusiV. And their cores just aren't farming quite as well, it seems. 7 going to be going for a Force Staff so that he can wrap up his Hurricane Pike. Let's Chain Frost available, but Wisp here, and too many creeps to make really efficient use, but the Shadow Blade popped. They might go for somebody. Tiny lurking in the back. His Shadow Blade's got a few seconds left on it. Will he get in range? They see. No, they don't see. Defies Shadow Blade just ending. Now they toss him back right into the Hornet's Nest. He's going to get destroyed under this tower, but Chain Frost coming out, doing some decent damage. It bounces to the Luna again, but now it's back on creeps. But it looks like Tiny will pay with his life. A 1-for-1 trade so far, but 7 inside that pop drums from the Skipper. They're chasing him down. If he has Infernal Blade come up, he could actually find that kill, but maybe turns his attention to Starboy instead. The nice slow from the Tether, doing some damage onto Starboy, but looks like they're back behind their tier 1 tower, so very risky to shove. Meanwhile, Dragon Knight going to push that. A 1-for-1 trade that I think probably favors New Era. Uh-oh, Lich caught under that tower. A net onto the Omni, but he's not the one channeling the Shackle. But in this, right, what just happened with the tower anyway, But great plays from eLusiV in the mid, by the way. They didn't lose Luna. They did lose Tiny, which sucks, but Tiny has less net worth than Tinker. Oh, he needs to be careful. 2 seconds until these Shadow Shaman wards are back. A nice fissure block, but they're going in on one. The Luna going in, pops the Eclipse, and Echo Slam to try to do some damage to her, but it only connects on her. A killing spree for 7. The March on the Machine doing some good damage. Dragon's Breath doing some damage. TCJ getting very, very low. Purification finishes off Doom, but it's a triple kill already for the Tinker. It could be more. The Hood of Defiance popped. Actually, a Pipe of Insight, but a little too late. He manages to save himself, but not his teammates or Raisin. Just on the pursuit, finishes him off an ultra kill. Relentless, this Tinker. And eLusiV once again underestimating the power of New Era, who really just... Let's take a look at that fight recap. Okay, underestimating the power of the Tinker would perhaps be a little bit more accurate of a statement. And Luna's Eclipse really just hit one hero, and when it ended, they just went in on her, and they fought inside the March of the Machines. The laser, of course, doing massive, massive damage. And now they're going in. DK ult popped, drums popped, and this tier 1 will die. And New Era starting to get their gold back. And only a 2k gold lead now for eLusiV, who had about 5k at their peak of their advantage. And oh, a jump forward onto Lich. Lich wiped off the face of the earth. Tiny chasing these guys down. Actually, before he kills that, I'm super curious. 50% base armor reduction. Okay. I saw someone get hit by that last night, actually, and then they just barely got 1v1, so I was wondering how much of an impact it has on the armor. And now the final tier 1 tower taken down by New Era. New Era starting to come back gold-wise, only 1k behind now. XP also just about 2k. So an incredibly even game now. And again, this Tinker, very, very hard to deal with for eLusiV. They really only have the Shadowblade Tiny to hunt him down. And oh, speaking of hunting someone down, Skipper in the danger zone pops Doom onto the Tiny. Lich is here, has Chain Frost available, could throw it out if he wants it. Purification coming out, the Chain Frost coming, but it doesn't bounce at all. And now the Doom is over the repel, but the laser will finish off the Wisp. The heart broken right there, and now Tiny turning back onto Doom. Doom going down onto the Tiny. And now Tinker on the prowl, finds one, but shouldn't be able to kill him off inside that. No Yules, no Hex yet. Perhaps if Sadman used his Chain Frost a little bit sooner, they would have found some kills off of that. But, oh well. A 1-for-1. And they lose their Courier. Such a shame. And Luna brings down the tier 1 mid. Her Dragonlance completed. Going to be going for a BKB, making this Tinker significantly less effective until that BKB timer goes down very low. Or if he gets a Hex for the infinite hexing. And oh, Luna has an Eclipse. She pops it, but an immediate blink from Raisin. And now blink again. He's just dodging her, but now hexed up. And TCJ needs to be very, very careful against this guy. Doom is here now, and Tinker on the prowl lasers him down. TCJ actually perhaps the one that needs to be careful. Raisin wicked sick now. Whew. Tinker almost single-handedly driving them back into this game. They're after the Omni Knight, but 3 points in their repel. It lasted a very, very long time. I don't know if they'll be able to get him. Defy finding a kill up on the Doom. The help of that Luna, and with his pipe popped, this guy is practically invulnerable, and he's going to be going for a Lotus Orb as his next item, it looks like. Great item in this game. You can reflect Chain Frost, you can reflect Tinker Laser, you can reflect Doom, you can reflect Dragon Knight Stun. There's so many good spells to bounce with the Lotus Orb. And now with the Eclipse down, it's hard for this Luna to fight the Tinker, and Tinker, though, senses something is amiss and backs off, but unfortunately... Oh, maybe he's fine. Dr. Honey Salt is okay. And Tiny going for a Sage and Yasha. His Sage completed. His Yasha already in his inventory, so that'll be on the way before too long. Meanwhile, Wisp with his stick charges, wand charges, more accurately. Those wards now, man, taking so much damage. A jump forward, a laser coming out. Needs to be careful not to be a little overzealous, but jumps forward and just kills the Wisp again. And that's the big weakness of the Wisp against this Tinker. Yeah, you can catch him, but if the Tinker goes on you and the Luna doesn't have her ult, there's nothing that will save you. However, BKB will save this Luna in the future. Dragon Knight. They're just going to walk away from each other, Omni and DK. However, haste on Tiny, but they won't pursue. Tinker could quite literally come out of nowhere with his travels and gonna be going for an Ags. I love the decision to go Ags this game, get more power on those rockets. The bouncing laser is gonna be excellent. But now Dragon Knight could be in danger. The Shadow Blade and the Haste Rune going in on him. He pops the Dragon Tail onto the Omni Knight, but that's not the one you gotta worry about. The Toss Avalanche Purification combo. It's so much damage. He's trying to armlet toggle, but it doesn't matter. He will die. Dominating spree for this Tiny. Tinker just going to throw out rockets and lasers, beat up this Luna. So much damage on that combo, actually. Lotus Orb now finished on the Omni Knight. He's very, very beefy now, and another tool in his kit to protect teammates from something like this Tinker. And now this tier 2 tower likely gonna die. Tiny doesn't have a tree grab up just this second, but he'll probably get this. Interesting that he goes the damage this game instead of the magic resist. They pop the smoke, but it's instantly broken. Earthshaker now hexed up. Rockets coming out the pipe, trying to protect the team. Fissure not going to connect on anyone, but CLJ probably not going to be able to escape this. Wisp, though, with the TP. They might find the Wisp. Oh, man, they don't know that Tiny's there. Some pinks coming out. Perhaps they're going to try to lurk in the neighborhood, try to save their Tiny. The Lotus Orb trying to keep that Doom from using the Doom. Blade Mail popped. Fissure. And now they stun the Wisp immediately. He pops that Glimmer Cape Frost Armor to save his teammate. Doom onto the Omni Knight. Tinker now TPing in. And the Omniscience won't be able to save you from this. And he will go down. Tries to turn and fight, but will just die. Meanwhile, Luna beating on the tier 3. And a bunch of TPs already used at bot. And Tinker going to pop the laser, but Luna has her BKB, pops it. And now just starts TPing out. Nice play, claiming that tier 3 tower while her team fights. So eLusiV, even when they lose, they still get something out of it. And they really only lost the Omni Knight. Now, with Shrines vulnerable, we could see eLusiV turn towards Roshan. They have a decent team for killing it. They can commit the Shaman wards for it. Probably don't have to, though, not with Luna and Tiny. Especially this Luna, who's pretty big. Looking at her talents, let's see what she got. Luna Blessing damage, 10 all stats, and attack speed. Probably the best play. Need to be careful not to tank up that March of the Machines. But this has a pretty solid impact from the Tinker. Killing off all but the catapult in the creep wave will dramatically slow down a push. Lich getting spotted, going for a ward. All he wanted was to deward. Now he sees some enemy heroes, but there's no blink on the Tiny. And Lich, sad man, may be able to walk away with that exchange. However, Wisp they'll probably find that ward. Pink's coming out onto the Tinker. Tinker blinking into the trees. Going to start spamming that march. They do not have a Tinker ward. Raisin just being a nuisance. And this is something that New Era's team does very, very well. Just prevent you from capitalizing on those kind of skirmishes. Unfortunately for them, Luna did get this tier 3. She got whatever she wanted. And now they're turning towards Roche. But at the least, they're able to shove in these side lanes. And with no vision on Roche, it should be pretty easy for them to get it, especially with Luna having some lifesteal and the help of the Wisp and a DD rune on this Luna will just expedite the process. So that's an Aegis on the Luna. She has a 9-second BKB as well. Probably don't want a BKB till after your death, just to maximize the real effectiveness of that. The worst part is there's a repel too, so she doesn't really have to BKB until after she dies. Lines being drawn, but this Dragon Knight doesn't have a Shadow Blade, so can't really sneak an initiation on these guys or provide them any information without revealing himself. Regen rune spotted. Extremely high value to pick up on the Wisp. Tinker Ward revealing this Raisin. He's going to back off, though. They see the Wisp. A nice fissure, zoning out eLusiV from pursuing any further, but they will turn their attention to the Shrine. They should be able to get rather free, but Lich actually still going to die to this Tiny. And New Era need to be careful chasing this. Dragonite should back off. If he gets turned on and gets caught by an Avalanche, he could just die. He pops his BKB. Still on the run. Another nice fissure from Dr. Honeysalt, keeping eLusiV from pursuing any further. Tinker continues the push, just trying to create space for his team. Did grab the March of the Machines damage. And oh, he's TPing to the bot lane. He needs to be very, very careful. They do see enemies, though, because of the ward. And Starboy getting low, but a repel will... I don't think he was going to die anyway, but that repel keeps him from getting any lower. And Luna might find this Tinker. March of the Machines, Pink's coming out. They know he's right there. She's spamming the March, and now he's going to back off. He blinks away, and they need to be careful. If anyone stands in that March for more than just a second or two, they'll get eaten alive by those. Oh, but the Tiny in the back... They don't see him just yet. He turns onto the Earthshaker. Dr. Honeysalt getting very low and going to die to this toss. Unstoppable for this Tiny. Dragonite trying to find some sort of retaliation. And Lich going to de-ward, but it's just a Sentry. But they do see him. And Tier 2 does die. An 11k gold lead. Now for eLusiV. XP also pretty much the same. But going up high ground against a Tinker, incredibly difficult. They pop the Lotus Orb onto the Luna, but as well as the Repel. She's going to be so hard to kill with those things on her. Oh, Sadman, you need to be real careful. You're going into the danger zone, and it'll actually just get right-clicked down by the Luna with the help of a Tiny Toss. It means they have no Lich ult for this. The Doom is available, but not going to pop it. The Shadow Shaman ward's coming down onto the tower. Laser and Rockets just wreaking havoc, though, on the back, but Skipper getting very, very low. But Dragonite diving in deep with his BKB up. He's showing no fear at all. But once that wears out, he could be in serious danger. However, these Rockets, they're doing so much work, just annoying these guys to death. What was that? It looked like he got ghost formed, but I was probably just seeing things. And again, so hard to go up high ground against this Tinker. He can just spam Rockets for days and days. The worst part is he can go to the other lanes, ensure those aren't being pushed in. And now he'll be coming back since the creep wave will be moving into the bot soon. Although he wants to shove out mid to maybe try to pressure their towers and force them back a little bit. Avalanche not going to connect on anybody. This tier 3 tower, though, will likely die. And now Chain Frost coming out, but there's so many creeps around that they're going to tank most of it. But the bounce now coming back. Actually need to be really careful. And it goes back onto the Luna again. And now it's going to hit the Omni Knight and the Shadow Shaman. Perhaps setting up for a good initiation. The Tinker gets a nice blind off the Luna. Loses her Aegis. Wisp going to go down. And now she's isolated. A nice Echo Slam. 2 dead already. This Tinker, but now he's stunned up. He needs to get out of here. A beautiful fissure, though. The Eclipse coming out, but Luna doomed. And really she is. She's going to die again. She's going to die as well. But Raisin, is he in trouble now? They finally kill him. Wicked sick for Defy. They shut down that Tinker. But will they be able to get any kind of retaliation? They're all so slow because of that Degen Aura. The stun not going to be reflected thanks to the BKB, but Purification coming out. And now Earthshaker getting low, tossing him away. Another nice fissure. Keeps Tiny in the area, but he has a Shadow Blade available. Caught by the Infernal Blade, but now stunned up and should actually die. But a nice Purification perhaps saves his life. Repel going to ensure that he survives. Repel. Lotus Orb popped onto the Omni Knight. Dragon Breath coming out. The Dragon Tail available in just a second. And Skipper getting low, and the toss will finish him off with the Avalanche. And now Dragon Knight pops his ult, but it could be a little too late. Doing everything that he can to get any kind of vengeance for his teammates. And one more right click will do the trick, and he might be able to get leader as well. But no, the Purification. He used his wand charges already. Dragon Knight will die. A good effort from New Era, but Tinker perhaps a little overambitious. Nothing like a BKB on him or really any defensive items. His damage is outrageously high, but once he got found out, he died rather quickly. An excellent job dealing with that Luna and the Aegis, though, showing that they still have some gas in the tank. A 1k gold swing, 1.2k really, going in favor of New Era. Put up a valiant fight, and even losing a fight when you're this far behind, like by one hero, since it was a 4-for-3. Actually, I'm pretty sure Shadow Shaman did die in that fight, so it's probably a 4-for-4. It's worth it for your team. Luna now with a Lincoln Sphere and going to be going for a Butterfly. Just needs that Eagle Song. There's a nice ward here from the Dire, giving them good vision without any risk of it being revealed by a defensive sentry ward. It's the second lane of racks exposed. Tinker going to be going for a Scythe of Ice. That permanent Hex could be just what he's looking for. I want to take a look at the rest of these talents since I haven't really paid much attention to that. Spell Amplification and Move Speed from the Tinker. Dragon Knight opting for attack speed and damage. Lich grabbing his movement speed talent. Interesting that he goes that over the health, especially against bursty heroes like the Tiny. And looks like at top they're looking for something. Luna has her BKB up. She might be forced to use it, but force taps herself away. Doom with Scorched Earth damage and Devour bonus gold. Devour bonus gold will be very, very useful this game since he's not able to find a lot of farm. It's basically a Midas now on a shorter cooldown. Yeah, 250 gold every 40 seconds. That's excellent. But Dragon Knight could be in trouble. Luna sees him. He gets hit by eLusive Beam, and now an Avalanche as well. Dragon Knight, he's super dead. Oh, pops his BKB, but getting hit by these right clicks. It's not the magic damage he has to worry about. He's on the run. He's trying to escape, but just getting chased down by this Luna. The glaives and the toss, and he's dead. And now Doom looking for something, someone, but not able to find it. TCJ in a good position to keep his teammates. The Lotus Orb discourages any kind of further pursuit or any kind of fight, especially without your Dragon Knight. And now the bottom barracks getting hit. Tinker pushing in those creeps, now hitting this tier 3. So at least one lane will be fairly secure for them. But the tier 2 mid will likely die. However, there's backdoor protection, and Skipper, oh, he goes forward, pops his blade mail. And the March should just, yeah, keep them out of here. And Fortification forced out as this wave of creeps just beats on that tower. Tinker now pops the laser, but no avail. However, Tinker did exactly what he needed to, forcing that Tiny back, which prevents any further push. So eLusive didn't really get anything out of this. They killed the DK, but that's it. Also, Roshan back up at a minute and a half. We'll see how that plays out. It's probably the next really big objective for both teams to pay attention to. Fighting against Tinker in the rush pit also very frightening. I mean, Tinker, Echo Slam, Chain Frost even. There's a lot of scary stuff going on in the pit for eLusive if you're fighting New Era there. But they have an Eclipse of their own, so. And now Shiva's Guard adding to the AoE of eLusive. Assault Cuirass going to be Luna's next item. Nice little taunt, doing the little helicopter thing right there. Nice. Well played, well played. Tinker even on net worth with this Luna, something I haven't looked at in quite some time. 23k on both of these heroes, and no, Tinker needs to be careful. He just dodged that avalanche. Getting hit by that would have been devastating. Now spamming those rockets. They do see him. BKB popped by Dragon Knight perhaps a little bit early, and Butterfly now completed on 7. 8 seconds left on that BKB as well. And Luna just going in on it. The repel coming out. They have Doom, but Doom does not want to Doom himself. But a beautiful Echo Slam catches on 3 heroes. A good stun, popping the BKBs, and now the Guardian Angel Chain Frost doing some work to these supports, but no one else. Wisp going to go down to that Chain Frost, but they've already lost one. The Doom going to die. Earthshaker very, very low. And this Rax with the backdoor protection will survive a little bit longer. They put the Lotus Orb onto the Luna, buying some time. The creeps will close in soon, and they do once the backdoor protection goes down. Those Rax die exceptionally fast, but now Tiny needs to be very careful. The laser not going to come out. It would just get blocked by that Lincoln's. Another laser Hex as well, getting them all so low. They need to be very cautious against this Tinker. And now Lich slowing himself and his Dragon Knight up. A nice avalanche stunning 3 heroes, and they should be able to escape on the back of that. Or 7 maybe actually. Oh, they don't find anyone, but Lich actually going to die. However, Earthshaker should be able to get this, especially because Dragon Knight is on the way. The Dragon's Breath will finish him off. And now they're going into the trees. They know where they are. They see him. They got him in the spot. And now the nice Hex, but a lot of right-click damage going on to this Tinker. Tinker going to go down to the Luna. Luna does so much damage. Leader trying to man-fight her, but is he really able to? Stunning himself and her. And the Purification keeps her healed up. And now Tinker buying back, but Wisp relocating in. And now the Dragon Lance, or Hurricane Pike, I should say, separating them and getting Luna that kill. Tinker buying back, but Dragon Knight dead for some time, and now 19k gold in favor of eLusiV. So hard with the Omni Knight and the Wisp to kill off this Luna. Mechanism now bought on the Wisp as well, a phenomenal item on that hero, doubling the healing effectiveness when he's tethered to somebody. And the Rack's getting low, a nice Hex slowing down this push. Doom does not have Doom in the Infernal Blade. Another Hex coming out. They should be able to get this Luna relatively easily. No matter what Omni does, he wouldn't have been able to save her. Maybe Repel would have bought a little bit of time, but still. So a nice kill for them, but they lost a second. Or no, they didn't lose that Rex. Never mind. So eLusiV losing their Luna for the first time in a long time, actually. I don't think that was a big spree. No, she just has high net worth. And now she's actually really far ahead. 5k gold ahead of this Tinker. I bet this Tinker doing everything in his power to keep the push going. Shaker gonna go for a Yules. Omni Knight with Boots of Travel finish. I want to look at his talents real quick. GPM, damage, and degen or slow. Will likely go the purification, damage, and heal. That's just a lot of nukage. Tiny, tree grab, CD. I like that choice. I think late game that's just so much better than the toss. Since you're mostly a right clicker come super late. Wisp getting the Scepter bonus. Tether. Could do some cute stuff, especially with the Shadow Shaman. Omni too, if they were like really far from a fight, Omni could ult from global, but likely won't be relevant. Speaking of the Shaman is probably the best target with that. The right clicks aren't that good, so I guess the Shackle's duration's decent, but I don't know that he's actually ever going to get it off for that long, because they're against an Earthshaker. It's like if you find the Tinker by himself, which that's possible. Pink's coming out, but again, this Dragon Knight, no. If he had a Shadow Blade, they might be able to do stuff. I would like to see a Blink or something picked up. It's too late for Shadow Blade, I think. And, oh, BM from Dr. Honeysalt on his own teammate. And Roshan next on the agenda. The Golden Giant Sheep, that's cute. And the Shackle, he'll get the full duration Shackle off on Roche at least, you know. These wards spotting out, and like they have a lot of sentries to guarantee they're not seen, but perhaps they know. But if they do, they're making no note to go against it and will allow this Roshan to be claimed. I imagine it's going on to the Tiny. It might go on the Luna though. Yeah, they are going to give it to Luna. Tiny going to grab the cheese. Oh, Dragon Knight, you don't want to be there. He bops his BKB before he can get shackled. A good fissure, and now a bunch of rockets going to be annoying some people. Tinker did go with the laser damage, so a 420 XD damage nuke on a, I mean, with rearm, no real cooldown. Let's see, so the damage of that 50, that's pretty dank. That hurts a lot. Each robot does 50 damage, and there's 24 per second. Probably not going to get more than 3 or 4 per second, but still, that's a lot of damage per second. However, with Repel and Lotus Orb, so hard to get this Luna. All they really have is the rockets, and they're going it on somebody over here. Looks like they find the Tiny. He goes down, but he has buyback available, but they lose their mid-racks while they're at it. And now all that's left is that top racks. 400 Fisher range grabbed by the Earthshaker. It's going to be a nice talent. So Tiny, really just a distraction. Arcane Rune on the Wisp, that's okay. Almost 30k net worth now on the Luna. Can grab her Salt Cuirass, sending the courier to the secret shop now to get it. They don't really have to worry about buybacks on the heroes because the pushing power, New Era's pushing power is pretty good. Like with the DK ult by itself, really. Tinker maybe looking for someone over here, and yep, finds that Shadow Shaman. He's got that Dagon, got those rockets, and even with your racks down, the Tinker can still create some serious pressure in the side lanes. anyways, as I was saying, the Luna doesn't really need to worry about the buybacks. She's got, they got 2 tier 2s, so they can't get Mega'd or anything. It's unlikely that they'd lose their Ancient unless they got 5-man wiped, all bought back, and then 5-man wiped again, where New Era don't lose anyone, which is almost impossible. DD picked up on the Luna. She's on the prowl. Gets this mini stun onto the Doom. That DD rune has some 500 damage. Tinker, man, he's not afraid at all. Luna's BKB down to 7 seconds, but the Repel and the Lotus Orb makes her so hard to engage on. Tiny pops the Shadow Blade. Maybe wants to try to get the Tinker. Oh, and he finds him and gets the Avalanche, but it actually misses. So Tiny going to have to back off and a TP away from the Tinker. Roshan will not be up for at least 5 minutes. In the top racks, a nice relocate, but the backdoor protection and the fortification. They probably could have killed through backdoor protection to get this stun, but the Wisp still tethered to the Luna. However, yeah, she's out. Good effort, and I expect that's not the last time we'll see that. I wonder if he did that with the Arcane Rune. No, he did not. Guardian Greaves can be finished for the Wisp. And again, I don't think Dire have to worry about buybacks at all. Oh, sad man. Defy on the prowl. Finds this poor lonely Wisp and kills him instantly. Not only does he kill him, he kills the creep. Tiny Tinker was trying to TP into, and this causes a fight to break out at top. The Eclipse coming out, doing a lot of damage. Earthshaker dead. Skippy dead. A double kill. He's getting low, though. Leader trying to do something, but can't. Stuns himself on the Lotus. The Rocket's doing some damage, but not enough. The Glimmer Cape sparing the Luna the brunt of it. Still doomed, but it's not enough. It won't matter. And they lose 4 for nothing at the top lane. 3 for nothing. Tiny picked off the Lich, and now it's just Tinker versus the world. Doom buying back. Lich has buyback available as well. Popping the Hex and just trying to be a nuisance. Look at that March damage. And oh, a stun onto Skippy. Skippy gonna die back here. It looks like there's nothing to save from the blind, though. Nuking a lot of these heroes. He gets 1. The Wisp already dead, and it looks like they might lose the Shadow Shun, but Meg has already claimed a double kill for Raisin, though. However, now, without fortification, this Ancient looks like it's not long for this world, as their tier 4s fall quickly underneath Luna. And this first game, not likely to go. Tinker blinding himself, but doesn't really care. The Lotus Orb gone, and the Ancient still getting beat by this Luna. Luna just ignoring anyone else, but Defy finding one final kill onto this Lich. And it looks like GG will be going to eLusiV. eLusiV just... The Tinker played phenomenally well. And there were some good plays from New Era. They had several really good fights, but they just weren't able to keep up. eLusiV out-farmed them in the lanes, found several kills in several key lanes, especially in the mid, slowed down that Tinker a little bit, prevented him from getting a really quick boots travel blink, although it was still pretty well timed despite his death, so impressive from him. But this is only game 1 of 2. We will have the second game going in just a moment. We'll be right back.